Imagine a story so gripping, so shocking, that it held an entire nation captive. A tale of fame, murder, and a courtroom drama that redefined justice. Today, we're diving into one of the most infamous cases in American history, a saga that unfolded in the 1990s and centered on a celebrated black football star, advertising icon, and Hollywood actor. This is the story of O.J. Simpson murder case, a chilling event that rocked Los Angeles, California, and captivated the United States with its complex twists and jaw-dropping turns. Spanning over a year and 3 months from the crime to the final verdict, this case became a cultural phenomenon, drawing millions into its orbit. So, let's step back in time to June 12, 1994, and unravel the details of this unforgettable mystery. Our story begins with Oriental James Simpson, born on July 9, 1947. Known to the world as O.J. Simpson, or simply the Juice, he was a legendary running back who dominated the National Football League for 11 seasons, mostly with the Buffalo Bills. In the 1970s and 1980s, Simpson was a household name, earning accolades like the Heisman Trophy in 1968 as the nation's top college football player. In 1973, he made history as the first NFL player to rush for over 2,000 yards in a single season, cementing his legacy. By 1985, his stellar career earned him a spot in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. After retiring in 1979, Simpson transitioned into a multi-millionaire lifestyle, far removed from his humble beginnings, thriving as an actor and advertiser. He starred in films like The Naked Gun and became a fixture in Hollywood, a true superstar whose initials alone, O.J., evoked instant recognition. But everything changed on that fateful Sunday night, June 12, 1994, at 875 South Bundy Drive, a posh residence in the upscale Brentwood neighborhood of West Los Angeles. Around 10:15 p.m., the eerie silence was shattered by the relentless barking of a dog, a mournful, haunting sound that caught the attention of Pablo Finks, a screenwriter living nearby. Annoyed by the noise interrupting his work, Finks stepped outside to investigate. As he approached the source, a chilling scene unfolded. Blood stained the walkway leading to the house, and 2 lifeless bodies lay in pools of crimson. Terrified, he called the police. When the Los Angeles Police Department arrived, they encountered a gruesome sight. A woman, sprawled face down in a black dress, was drenched in blood with multiple stab wounds. Nearby, a man in a light brown shirt and blue jeans lay motionless, his eyes frozen open, his body riddled with knife wounds. The victims were soon identified. Nicole Brown, 35, a white woman born May 19, 1959, in West Germany to a German mother and an American father, and Ronald Goldman, 25, a waiter born July 2, 1968, in Chicago. Brown was Simpson's ex-wife, and Goldman was her friend. Inside the house, police found Brown's children, Sydney, 9, and Justin, 6, sleeping soundly. Officers gently woke them, dressed them, and took them to the station for safekeeping. The investigation quickly zeroed in on Simpson, who lived just a short distance away. Detective Mark Furman, a 42-year-old white veteran of the lapse, led the case. A former Marine who joined the force at 18 and rose to detective by 1989, Furman had a hunch that Brown's ex-husband was involved. At 4:30 a.m., he and 3 other officers arrived at Simpson's estate. Finding no response at the door, they scoured the property and spotted a white Ford Bronco with blood on the handle and tires. Unable to enter without a warrant, Furman ordered his team to climb the wall. Inside, they found no Simpson, but they did discover a blood-stained black leather glove, eerily similar to one found at the crime scene. Blood trails marked the gate and hallway, and the evidence pointed squarely at Simpson as the prime suspect. Why was Goldman at Brown's house that night? Earlier that evening, Brown had dined with family and friends at Mezzanine, the Italian restaurant where Goldman worked. Her mother forgot her glasses there, and Goldman, a friend of Brown's, volunteered to drop them off. Tragically, this act of kindness cost him his life. Meanwhile, Simpson had boarded a flight to Chicago from Los Angeles International Airport at 11:45 p.m. that night. By 6:15 a.m., he checked into a hotel, and at 7 a.m., Lapps called to inform him of his ex-wife's murder, urging him to return. He checked out by 8:30 a.m. and flew back, landing in Los Angeles by noon. Police, armed with a search warrant, were waiting. They arrested him, handcuffing him as he stepped off the plane. The evidence mounted. Blood in his Bronco matched Simpson, Brown, and Goldman. A pair of socks in his bedroom bore Brown's blood. A rare Bruno Maggi shoe print at the scene matched his size, and his DNA was found on Goldman's shirt. A cut on his finger, noticed during questioning, suggested he'd been injured during the attack. Yet Simpson denied everything. On June 16th, he attended Brown's funeral with their children. The next day, his lawyer negotiated a surrender by 11 a.m., but Simpson didn't show. Hundreds of reporters waited in vain as police issued a nationwide manhunt. That afternoon, Simpson's friend and attorney Robert Cartesian read a rambling letter from him to the media, hinting at suicide. "Don't feel sorry for me. I've had a great life, great friends. Please think of the real OJ, not this lost person." Many saw it as a farewell note. Then at 5 p.m., a patrol officer spotted Simpson's white Ford Bronco on Interstate 405, driven by his friend Al Cowlings, a former NFL player. Simpson huddled in the back seat, a gun to his head, as Cowlings warned police to back off. What followed was a surreal, slow-speed chase. 50 to 60 miles per hour, broadcast live to 95 million viewers. Helicopters from police and news outlets buzz overhead, while crowds line the streets. Even the NBA Finals game between the Houston Rockets and New York Knicks took a backseat. After 50 miles, the Bronco returned to Simpson's home. He surrendered at 8 p.m., and police found a disguising kit, passport, and a gun inside the vehicle. Charged with double murder, Simpson pleaded not guilty. Prosecutors were confident, citing a history of domestic violence as motive. He'd married Marguerite Whitley in 1967, fathering 3 children, Janelle, Jason, and Aaron, who drowned in the family pool in 1979. That same year, he divorced Whitley and began dating Brown, whom he met in 1977, while she waitressed at the Daisy nightclub. They married in 1985, had Sydney and Justin, but the marriage was marred by abuse. Brown's diary detailed beatings, and police responded to their home 8 times between 1989 and 1993. She divorced him in 1992, citing irreconcilable differences, but Simpson's jealousy persisted. For days before her death, Brown told a women's shelter she feared he was stalking her. The trial, dubbed the Trial of the Century, began in 1995. Prosecutors presented damning evidence: the gloves, the shoe prints, the blood. They argued Simpson killed Brown and Goldman between 10 o'clock and 10:15 p.m., with time to return home and catch his flight. But his dream team of lawyers, including Robert Shapiro, Johnny Cochran, F. Lee Bailey, Michael Baden, and Dr. Henry Lee, turned the tables. They attacked Detective Furman, exposing a 1986 recording where he used the racial slur nigger 41 times, undermining his credibility and suggesting he planted evidence due to racial bias. The gloves, they argued, were planted too. When Simpson tried them on in court, they didn't fit. A moment Cochran famously summed up: "If it doesn't fit, you must acquit." Dr. Henry Lee, a forensic expert, questioned the blood evidence. A drop at the scene contained EDT, a preservative not naturally in blood, hinting at tampering. Sample collection was sloppy. 1.5 milliliters of Simpson's blood went missing, and some evidence wasn't documented until weeks later. Police errors compounded the chaos. A blanket from Brown's home, possibly bearing Simpson's DNA, was used to cover her body, and Furman's warrantless search tainted the glove's discovery. The defense painted a picture of a botched investigation and a racist frame-up. On October 3, 1995, after over a year of testimony, the jury, 8 black, 1 white, 1 Hispanic, and 2 mixed-race members, deliberated for 4 hours. Verdict: not guilty. Simpson waved to the jury, exclaiming, "Thank you. I've been 100% innocent from the start." The nation erupted. Some cheered, others despaired. Racial divides sharpened. 74% of white Americans believe him guilty, while 77% of black Americans saw him as innocent. The trial, watched by 142 million, cost California $20 million and exposed flaws in the justice system, where wealth and legal prowess could sway outcomes. Post-trial, Simpson faced a civil suit. In 1997, a mostly white jury found him liable for the deaths, ordering $33.5 million in damages. Strapped for cash, he moved to Florida, where laws shielded his pension, $4 million from his NFL days, yielding $20,000 a month. In 2006, his book If I Did It sparked outrage, detailing a hypothetical murder scenario. The Goldman family won rights to it, retitling it Confessions of the Killer, but Simpson's 2007 armed robbery conviction in Las Vegas, stealing sports memorabilia, landed him 33 years. Paroled in 2017 at 70, he lived quietly in Las Vegas, battling prostate cancer until his death on April 10, 2024, at 76. Cremated on April 17th, he left behind a legacy as polarizing as his trial. What do you think of this case's controversies? Was justice served, or did fame and money skew the scales? From a criminal psychology perspective, Simpson's profile, charismatic yet volatile, with a documented history of control and violence, fits a perpetrator capable of such a crime. The evidence, though mishandled, strongly implicated him. Yet his acquittal highlights how perception and systemic flaws can override facts. Perhaps only Simpson knew the full truth, but his story remains a haunting study in power, privilege, and the elusive nature of justice. Thanks for joining me. Until next time.